practice myself too.
Oh yeah, self-advice, right?
Yeah.
Gotta be able to believe it.
Okay. Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Beautiful day in Butte.
It is. It's always sunny when you come over the pass.
It is. I mean, we can have snow one night and then beautiful the next day.
Yeah, love it.
Dude,
Love
me too.
Butte.
Me too.
So I'm here with Brianne Downy. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are?
All right. As we said, I'm Brianne Downy, and I am the financial and project manager for the URA at Butte Silverbow. So what that consists of is I work in the Community and Economic Development Office at the county, and we work with folks that want to invest in Butte, whether it be a residential property or a beautiful commercial property like the Hennessy Building. It's just a lot of fun to meet people and tell them about Butte and why it is such a wonderful opportunity to be a part of Butte right now.
Yes. Cool.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing that?
I have been at the county for a little over 3 years now.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah.
So I come from, I kind of have a mixed background. I've got hospitality and accounting, so it's kind of a perfect meld for this type of a job. So I've got my hospitality skills where I can meet and greet, but then I've got the hard skills of knowing debits and credits and how to balance everything out. So it's been a good job. I've loved it actually.
Yeah. It's something I could probably learn a little more about, that accounting side of
That
things.
accounting side, yes, right. Tick and tie.
Yeah. So we're here today to talk about the Opportunity Zone, and you are the guru for Butte.
Oh, guru.
Definitely a good person to know as far as resources and just the knowledge of what there is to offer and what's available here, particularly for Butte.
Yeah.
So maybe you could kind of just tell us what is an opportunity zone?
So an opportunity zone is a census tract that was designated through the 2016 Jobs Tax Act that was passed, and how it was established were local communities designated areas that had been historically underdeveloped, economically depressed, all of those kind of, I don't want to use negative connotations, but we don't have the investment that we are prone for. So local leaders designated their opportunity or their census tracts to the governor, which was Governor Bullock at the time, and then Governor Bullock selected those areas, and there are 25 in Montana, and sent them to the Department of Treasury for certification to be an opportunity zone. And nationwide there are 8,700. Most of them are on the East Coast. They're smaller. They can be a city block, whereas in Butte and further west, they're large. So we are essentially the entire Butte Hill. So it's a large area. So there's a lot more opportunity in the, for lack of a better word, right? Opportunity in these opportunity zones. So the investment could be small or it could be large. So I think that's a pretty unique opportunity that we have to market these zones. The other interesting thing about our opportunity zone is because we are Butte, we have some other areas of tax incentives that we can provide. Through the federal level, there are new market tax credits because we're in a designated area for that. We're in a historic landmark district, so historic tax credits are also available. And then the state level has a few opportunities too. If job creation is a part of the investment, there's some opportunities there. And then at the local level with the URA, which I manage, we have tax increment financing, so we can provide grants and loans for the redevelopment of these buildings as well. So there's just a lot of things going on in this opportunity zone that makes us pretty unique comparatively.
Yes. Yeah, I've had clients that have used some of those tax incentives, especially with the URA and getting grants when improving buildings in the area that qualify.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's a fairly simple process, which is nice.
So the most difficult ones are the new markets and the historic tax credits. They take a lot of doing, and there's a lot of commitment on the investor. But when you get down to the URA on the local level, it's more of you go out and you get the bids. You work with me. one great thing about Butte is we're very personable. I love talking to people. I love meeting. I want to know why they're here. I want to tell the story of Butte. I want them to love it as much as I do.
Yeah.
And so we work really close with investors and make sure that the project is successful. I just think that that's a really unique thing about us too.
It's huge because as if you have the backing and the support from the community, that can.
Oh,
I mean,
cheerleaders,
yeah,
we are.
It can
we
make
want
things,
you to be here.
Yeah, and it can make it more fun all the while too, making those connections.
Exactly, and it kind of, we step through things with, because I don't know everything. If I don't know, we will ask and we will find it out, and I will make sure that, no questions go unanswered. If I don't know, we will find somebody that does. And that's proved successful on lots of projects in Uptown Butte.
Which is awesome.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
It is fun. It's fun to see it all the way through.
Yeah, we do love to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so going back to Opportunity Zone in particular, the whole background and why it's come to be, that's pretty understandable. But why would somebody invest in Opportunity Zone? What are some of the incentives that are, pushing people to even grow fond of this program?
I would say that, tax savings, of course, is the number one thing. Either it's a deferral or it's a full-on tax savings where those capital gains tax are eliminated, depending on your holding period for the project.
Okay.
But, the other thing with opportunity zones is they are in historically underdeveloped areas, so your cash may go further. So you could probably, acquire a property in an opportunity zone at a lower price, possibly, and be able to do more impactful investing. Another driver that the intention was to build these areas back up without gentrification. We want to see a vibrant uptown again. So we want these buildings to be full. So this is just another vehicle in our toolbox that we can help market that and help that come to fruition.
So when you say the tax breaks and the tax deferral, can you tell me more how that program works? How long? Well, I guess starting back at who can invest and how do they invest would be kind of the first question.
So I'm just going to take this at a super high level, and I'm going to say that I'm not a CPA and I'm not an attorney, so I would defer to those folks, for the professionals. I'm just but I would say that similar to a 1031 exchange, but it doesn't have to be like for like. That like kind portion goes out the door. So you could have capital gains in the stock market and turn those into a qualified opportunity fund, invest in a fund that is created, and then that fund in turn invests in the property, and then there's a holding time period that I believe that it's a 7 and a 5 year step period where your step up in basis changes, so that defers the taxes. And if you hold for the full 10 years, that's when the gain is eliminated. And what's going on in our political environment right now with what happens with Congress, that's where it's hard to say. Will they extend it past 2016? I'm not sure. So that's where I want to defer to the experts. But I know enough and can help enough to make the right connections for folks that give enough information to where they can meet with those folks that know the definite I's and T's that need to be crossed. So that's where I would go with that.
Okay. So going back to where there was a 5 year and a 7 year.
Yes.
So, and then there's one when you hold it even longer. Then it is a deferment on that gain.
On that total gain.
Okay.
So for the sake of simplicity, say you have a $100,000 gain, you put that in a qualified opportunity fund, and then that fund in turn invests in a property, and you hold for 5 years. You hold the property and then turn around and sell it. Your step up in basis is going to be a 10% step up, and then so that leaves that other 5% that you would still have to pay gain on. And then if you hold for 7 years, it goes to the 15, and then the 10 is the full. There's no tax on any as it stands right now. So
on
again,
any of
talk
those-
to your CPA and
Yes,
talk to
yes.
your
Yeah,
lawyers,
for
but
sure.
to make sure all of that's,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it could prove to be a really substantial tax savings.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like when you're taking numbers, for example, the Hennessy Building,
Yes.
if you invest $10 million,
Mm-hmm.
and then in 10 years you decide to sell, then you would pay capital gains on the original 10 million that was vested, but anything beyond that would be
Well,
you
I
don't
think
get
that's
taxed
true.
on that?
So you definitely don't get taxed if you hold for the full. Let me walk this through a little bit. If you hold for the full 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
your initial investment would not be taxable.
So your initial investment,
and then depending on where the tax rate is when you sell. And see, this is where I'm a little fuzzy on this because it was created in 2016. Nobody's sold yet.
Yeah.
So I don't have the actual stats on how all of that will work when people go to sell.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that if you hold for 10 years, you will defer complete gain,
which is
huge tax
amazing.
savings.
It's huge. I mean, that's like quite the opportunity.
That's quite the opportunity.
No pun intended.
Exactly. I know. I always like when I'm talking to people about the opportunity zone. I'm like, oh, we have so much opportunity in the opportunity zone.
Yeah.
It's like, see?
Yeah,
That's
it's
what it
true.
is. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah, it's very true.
Right.
So, okay, with Butte, have you seen anybody making these investments, or is this something that's going to be kind of new for us?
So, yes, we've had some folks that have reached out and talked about it with us. Me being from the county level, we don't see all of that because we teach them about Butte, we show them what we have, and then they go and do what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I am aware of a couple of investors that have utilized the funds and are eager to get going on their projects. So yes, there is definite investment. And
very cool.
the other thing about our opportunity zone is, like I said before, the size of it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it can be a small investor. It doesn't have to be a major group investment.
Yeah.
Or it could be a sizable group that comes in. So we've got
Mm-hmm.
a variety of opportunities. There's that
Very
word
cool.
again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just great. I mean, it's a lot of fun to see what's going on in Butte right now. COVID, of course, we live in COVID right now,
Yeah.
and it's been awful. And we've had some of our restaurants and our bars and our casinos have really
Mm-hmm.
struggled, and small business, it's hard. But one thing that I think, kind of, if you want to say a silver lining that has happened in Butte with COVID, is that we've gotten some notoriety. I mean, not notoriety, but some eyes on us.
Totally.
Folks are leaving the city. They
Mhm.
see the quality of life. They see the the barrier to entry. Our housing market is relatively reasonable to get into, and I think that a lot of folks are taking this time in the world to kind of take a step back from the city maybe and see what Butte has. I mean, and we've got that small town feel, but we still have the amenities. We have a wonderful hospital. We have a college that is, top notch.
Yes.
We've got great employers that have been solid and steady for a long time.
Mhm.
That's one thing with Butte is we haven't seen the explosive growth that other communities have, but we've been slow and steady, and we have actually benefited from that because we don't have these bubbles that go,
Yeah.
and it's just been a really positive thing for us. And now I really think that we're on the edge of a lot of great things.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
Mhm.
I've heard people refer to it as Butte's kind of steady Eddie, and how the economy
Yep.
it really doesn't see these large lulls like other places
We
when
don't have peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
We're right about 2% growth annually. I think that so we're city county combined, which is kind of unique because of our size. We're a relatively small county for Montana,
okay.
and so we combined our city county local government in the 70s, and just to utilize cost savings, and it just was pretty smart to do, actually. And right now we're hovering around 35,000 for our population, and I think if we get to 50, that would be a really sweet spot.
Yeah.
Because in Butte's heyday, when copper was king and mining was, there was, some people say 90 to 100,000 people in uptown Butte.
Yeah.
And when you see the size of these buildings, we have the infrastructure to support that.
Totally.
And could you imagine seeing the hustle and bustle? I just think
it would be great.
It would be great.
Yeah.
It would be fun. So if we can help out and get buildings rehabbed and occupied and fully occupied. We have a lot of buildings that are partially occupied, and I just think that it would be great to bring life to all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a unique place.
It is a very unique place.
I've never been to a place like Butte, not quite like Butte.
No.
The architecture, the craftsmanship of these buildings is like
they're
no
built to
other.
last. They are
Absolutely.
built to last, and our history. What we meant to the world, not just to Montana, but to the world, and it's just I get to tour a lot of buildings, so that's kind of a perk to my job. And then I'm always asking questions, and I just love the history of what was going on, and just like the Chinese district. We have the oldest Chinese food in the nation, and it's not San Francisco, it's not New York, it's Butte, Montana.
Yeah,
and that's great.
Which is super cool. I did just see that on was it on PBS?
They had a couple of stories. They did
special?
the CBS This Morning did a story on them, and so that was really
cool. Yeah, I've gone underground and kind of seen some of the. Yeah,
it's really cool.
I've never seen anything like it.
The culture that we have here is, we were truly a mixing pot.
Yeah,
so.
I'd love to see that come back. And the life come back for sure.
Me too. Yeah.
So, I think that overall, the opportunity, there's multiple layers, is what it sounds like for Butte in particular. And the Opportunity Zone is one of those programs where you can do a large investment or a smaller investment. Probably like a minimum. What would you say, like maybe 6 figures probably to come in on an Opportunity Zone?
No, I don't even think that it would have to be that. I've seen a couple of like duplexes go into an opportunity fund where a group of people pooled their gains and did a duplex, just to have some rental property and diversify their portfolio a little bit. So I think that I wouldn't put a minimum on it, but it's just investors' preference.
Gotcha. That's an interesting. Because I was looking at it from the standpoint of more of a commercial, building and commercial, your tenants. But I guess you can do it
as long as it's in the zone. You can utilize it. So, and that's where it kind of varies from, the 1031. Where you're going from a commercial rental to a commercial rental.
Yeah.
Maybe you are in the commercial rental business, and that hasn't gone as well for you lately since cities in East Coast maybe don't have that office space anymore. Not to say that they would get a gain out of it, but if they sold that property, they could come to Butte and invest in a large commercial building that could be mixed use.
Yeah, and it's pretty inevitable when property values go up.
Exactly.
So it's just going to keep appreciating 10 years from now, and to not pay a capital gain on that is it's huge.
It is.
It's almost like unbelievable.
Right.
It's that big.
And the trajectory that Butte is on, we've got a lot of great things going on out in our Montana Connections Business Park. We're seeing a lot of manufacturing. We're seeing a lot of distribution centers locating out there, and Butte's on the way up. And I have a lot of excitement about our growth and where we're going. And I just think that now is a wonderful time to take advantage of all of these.
I would agree.
These things that are in our toolbox.
Yeah. So when you were also going back to the investment piece and not being like exchanges, so I did also hear that it could be stocks.
Yes.
So somebody could take, like, say if they have $1 million a gain in their stocks, they could take that fund and then bring it to an Opportunity Zone?
They could take that cash that is their gain and invest it, create an opportunity fund, qualified opportunity fund, and that's filling out a form with the IRS. and invest that money into that fund, whether it be a corporate, it could be set up as a corporation, an LLC, there's different strategies for both of those, but it can be set up in that and then invested in commercial, residential real estate.
I think that's
a
huge
unique
too.
opportunity.
Yeah, the amount of money that is, I think, has just been held in stocks for the fear of the taxes that you're going to be hit on.
Sure.
It really can free up and kind of put it,
and diversify some folks' portfolio, and it's
putting the money back into the economy.
Right, and especially these areas that haven't seen development and are just prime for it. Butte is prime for that type of development, and we're ready. From the local government standpoint, we are here. We want to work with people. We will, from public works out plowing the road, but public works to our planning department to our fire marshal, we all work together, and we are more than willing and happy to meet with whoever wants to come and talk to us and shoot their ideas at us, and we'll tell them how we can help make their dreams a reality and get things going.
That's awesome. Yeah. So if people want to reach out to you, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
Probably through email. I'll provide my email to you if that works, or do you want me to say it?
I guess you could share with everybody.
My email is bdowney, DOWNEY, @bsb.mt.gov.
Okay.
I'm very responsive to email. I try to get back to people within a day.
Perfect.
Or my office line, which is 406-497-6267. And if, again, I try to return calls daily, so we're super busy, which is wonderful, but I think it's important to make sure that everybody gets some contact so that they know that they're important to us too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I hope that there are people reaching out to you.
Oh, I hope I'm so busy.
I do.
I know, I hope my phone's ringing out the hook.
Yeah, me too. Because we all want to see.
Yes.
We all want to see Butte grow, and I think we all recognize, when we're here, we recognize the opportunity that exists, but it's time we share that with the rest of the world.
I think so too. I do too. It's time. I think the world saw it before and loved it, and I think that now is the perfect time for it to happen again. This was fun.
Yeah,
Thank
this
you
was
so
fun.
much.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming out and to the Hennessy Building
Yes, the
on
Hennessy Building.
130 North Main, which is right in the center of Butte, and it is an opportunity zone. So if you're interested in learning more, you can reach out to me as well.